Tonight's show is entitled Truth, Lies, and Sovereignty. And the Mighty Hebrew is going to be addressing some topics and issues, also some false allegations and some would say rumors and propaganda pertaining to himself and some of the things he went through in his past. So, Tribal Minister Mighty Hebrew, we welcome you, good brother.
Gang. How the family feeling today? You feeling good, my Lord?
I'm blessed. Thank you.
Okay, you feeling good tonight? You all right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good. And foremost, I give all praise and honor to the only eternal King of the multiverse in this universe, Yahweh Elohim, Yehovah Elohim, supreme one of the multiverse in this universe, for giving me the blessed opportunity, family, Yisrael, all over the four corners of the earth. Before we get into this discussion of truth, lies, and sovereignty, I just want to make a quick prayer to Yahweh, because every prayer, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, great was supreme master of the multiverse. To the Rabbah for waking us up to see another day. To the Rabbah for us to be here today talking and having this discussion so the masses will be able to get the truth. And for righteousness' sake. For right now, there's rumors that's going on out in the atmosphere to stop unification amongst the Torah Center, Talmudic Center, and Messianic Hebrew Israelites. And I'm here to set the record straight, to let the world know that unification is at hand. And we're going to be here until unification is established through the creator of heaven and earth. And we thank you, O Yah, great and eternal King, for giving us the strength to manifest unification. And without further ado, I say hallelujah, 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 Yah Chai, Yah Chai, Yah Chai. So how you feeling, good brother? I'm pretty sure that, you've seen some things today. I've seen some things today. And I wouldn't mind you, starting the conversation through questioning, and we can build from there and tear down this vicious and fictitious lie that was placed upon me back in, I think it was around, if I'm not mistaken, September 2015, somewhere around there, maybe late August, I don't know. But let's deal with the situation and let's see how the powers that be feel about the Mighty Hebrew. So I pass it to you, your question, the situation, let's build.
Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to do, Mighty Hebrew. My opening statement, as always, I give praise, honor, and glory to the mighty Creator, Yah, and the Mashiach Christ. So, Mighty Hebrew, evidently there's been some discussion, some rumors, some propaganda that I myself personally know to be false. Since me and you were introduced to each other, and there was a Blog Talk radio show that kind of stirred all this controversy, where a caller called in and tried to bring up your past, and it's obvious that they did not know the whole situation. So I think that it's important that we start from the beginning so that the audience and the family tuned in tonight can hear it from yourself personally, and hear it from the man himself, just to put all this to rest. So if it's all right with you, good brother, I'd like you to start on the very first thing. We would have to go back to 1994. Okay. And while you give an introduction of 94, I'll begin to pull up some of the documents that lead into the events that played out in December of 2009.
Gang. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I hear you.
Hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Can you hold on for 1 second? Somebody's at the door.
That's fine. Go ahead. I'm fine. Go ahead.
Somebody at the door? Yeah. Shalom.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Um, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't know if you want to start it over or you want me to just go from here.
You can just go from here because when we're done the show, I can just edit out the beginning because we're actually live and we've already got an audience tuned in.
Okay, cool, cool. I'm gonna just start from the beginning. I was 18 years old in 1994. As a matter of fact, 17 actually. I was just about to turn 18. And back in those days, in the 90s, I was caught up in the drug game. I'm from North Philadelphia. I'm from the Hunting Park section. I was in a gang called OK Corral. You know, back in the days, we were selling on Ephraim Butler, Blue Tape. You know, and as I continue to get in this discussion, I'm not going to incriminate anybody's names. So in 1994, I started selling, drugs. So while I'm down there with an older relative of mine, I can't say the person's name. I was inside of a house, and on the corner where I was at, down from Birch Drugs, and inside of a house, we were selling drugs. So at the particular time, the person of the house, they wanted more money from me. You understand? I'm giving up no money. So by me not giving up no money to be there, I went on the corner the next day, the following day, you know what I'm saying? And I'm on the corner with drugs in my pocket. I had over $500 worth of crack cocaine in my pocket. I had a 44 on me that was loaded, okay? And I had money on me, okay? I had close to a little over 2,000 pointed out. I was pointed out for supposedly having sexual relations with a minor that was 4 years younger than me. So now when they caught me with a loaded gun and drugs and money. So now I'm charged up with rape, statutory rape, corrupting the morals of a minor, possessing of firearms, and I have possession of narcotics with attempt to deliver. Okay. So when I got locked up in 94, I was looking at a shitload of time. Plus, I was in that gang called OK Corral, which was already known throughout the city of Philadelphia, being a notorious gang coming from out of the Hunting Park section. So naturally, when I was going through the court system, I didn't know who I was as a Hebrew Israelite. You understand what I'm saying? When I was going through the court system, the person that got me locked up, they wanted me out the way. And inside that home where I was dwelling at, all my stash was there. And that stash, naturally became gone. You know what I mean? Because as time went on, the so-called alleged, person, the adult that was charging me up never came to court. But as the state picked it up, because this is how Pennsylvania law is, you know what I'm saying? I was done. So I had to do what I had to do at the time when I didn't know the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I took that, I bit that. You know what I mean? And I had got a 4 to 15 years sentence. While I was upstate, while I was locked up, I found out who I was as a Hebrew Israelite. You understand what I'm saying? And I started to become a contributing columnist for different newspapers such as Jerusalem Chronicle, the African Worldview, and different newspapers. So when I came home in 2005, and I had to walk off 4.5 years of parole. You know what I'm saying? And I had to meet my parole agent, Delhi, you know what I mean, every month. And also I had the so-called register. So as I'm in this culture, I'm being revealed something called sovereignty. So as I'm in, the Philadelphia area, I'm establishing myself. I became a nationwide teacher coming from out of the school called Temple Kifraim in Philly, which in turn turned out to be a splinter group called B'nai Israel, which was created by myself, my little brother Anthony Messenger Thompson, my other little brother, which he's a boxer. You can see him on YouTube, Facebook. Also, my other brother Ty, my comrade, which you know him as Morio, and a bunch of us. We Israel. And that's how Maury Neftali started the Ancient Israelite Awareness Center. And I also became the co-founder of the Philadelphia Jurisdiction. Now, back then it was called Extensions of the Kingdom of Yah. Back in 2008, I publicly declared sovereignty. I wound up going to Tacoma, Washington, amongst the Kingdom of Yah host, Covenant House of Yahuda. I wind up declaring sovereignty. Okay. And when I declared sovereignty, I stopped reporting to parole. I stopped registering. I stopped doing all that nonsense. Because if I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm a living, breathing flesh and blood man, then I'm not under the European government, because we talking about breaking free from this menticide, this physical, captivity. So I challenge the powers that be. So when I actually met Netta, you understand? If I'm not mistaken, it was sometime 2009. I met Netta. March, and then the thing that I did at the couch with Segi was around August, July of 2009, somewhere around that facility. I can't remember. I was already sovereign. I was already moving as a sovereign. So one day I'm walking. This is around December 2009. I'm walking to the store. Now, remind you, I'm sovereign. I'm not reporting to no agent. I ain't registering for a crime that I did not commit. Nothing. So I'm moving in that light. So the assault that took Raleigh's. So that when the police did me and another person that to verify my address with the state police, I was wanted for parole violation for failing to report to my parole agent. So a month later, the so-called victim of the robbery came in, said it wasn't me charges, but because I had a violation for parole, okay, and on top, they, charged me with a felony with the state police, or so-called registering. Now I'm fighting. So now I declare openly sovereignty. You understand what I'm saying to the masses? We, hosts coming to the house of Yahuda, we challenged, you understand what I'm saying, the European powers to be, those that we say are our enemies, we challenged them and showed to show and prove that the children of Israel were emphatically a sovereign and autonomistic people. So the judge, and we got the transcripts, we got everything here right now. The judge was in favor of my position, but because it was so political, he couldn't side with me. So instead of me taking the deal because I'm sovereign, they gave me an excessive amount of time for failing to verify my address with the state police. So then I put in, you understand what I'm saying, to the Supreme Court, as well as I contacted the United Nations with the proper paperwork, and I fought the system, declaring my sovereignty, and I won in part, and I lost in part, and I got released. And tonight, this is what we're going to build on through the paperwork and the documentation. So to let the world know, the mighty Hebrew got trapped and caught up in the situation when I was a teenager, when I was 17, and got certified as an adult for a crime that I didn't commit, based on somebody being greedy and wanting something from me. And in turn, when I came home, you understand what I'm saying, I declared sovereignty and went back to jail based on me declaring sovereignty. I'm a freedom fighter. And also that brother that made that video, you understand what I'm saying, Judah Israel, on me and Zion Lex, talking about cutting the beard. First of all, I don't cut my beard, okay? I have what is called alopecia. I don't cut my hair. This is why you see I don't have no eyebrows, nor no eyelashes. So this constant, I'm Old Testament this, and I'm cutting my beard and all this. I don't cut my beard. I don't cut my hair. I used to have long hair. I have alopecia. My grandfather had alopecia. It skipped over my father, and it got to me. So all those that's making comments about me cutting my beard and I'm not following the law, listen, I follow the Torah 100%. This is why I want unity amongst the Taurists and the Israelites and the Messianics, as well as the Talmudic and the Israelites. Anybody that got to ask me a question about anything about my situation, my so-called previous case back in 1994, I'm only a phone call away. I'm only an interview away. You can just get in contact with me instead of thinking and assuming that you know what you're talking about when you don't. And we're about to set the record straight now. We're going to show you right here and on this presentation, live documented court evidence, you understand what I'm saying, showing and verifying who I am and how I came at the system. The same system that you say that you hate. Let's see how many people did in the Israelite community what I'm about to show you that I did. Hallelujah.
Okay, I think that was a great introduction to what we're going to discuss tonight, Mighty Hebrew. But
Okay.
I'm just gonna sum it up briefly. So basically, while you were technically still a minor at 17 years old in '94,
Say
there
that one more
was
time. I didn't hear that part. Say that again.
I said in 1994 you were only 17. You were
Right.
technically still a minor, but due to the charges and false
Now,
allegations, you were actually charged as an adult, correct?
correct.
Okay. Upon your release and you found out who you were, you actually filed for sovereignty. So you're a freedom fighter. You've also just been released. Also, you didn't commit this crime. So basically, you did not register for probation, which was in turn a violation of the European or the Pennsylvania court system, correct?
I can't hear you.
I said that you did not register upon your release because you had declared your sovereignty and you were sovereign. Okay, so that leads up to my next documentation that I'm going to show the family. Now, what I have here, and I'm about to share and make sure the family sees it. This is a letter from the Defenders Association of Philadelphia. Now, it's important that you look at the date. This is January 19th of 2010. And this letter states right here, Dear Mr. Yasharallah. Now, by this time, you had left your government name, your slave name, and you were known as Shar Yasserallah. Is that correct?
Kane.
Okay. This letter states, Dear Mr. Yasserallah, I was the attorney who represented you on the above captioned manner on July 12th of 2010 in room 506. Your case was discharged. This case should no longer be holding you in prison. If this is the only case that is holding you and you are not released within the next 2 days, please contact me. And this is from the public assistant defender in Philadelphia, and this lady's name is Megan Brown. So
Yes.
this is the first documentation from the public defender that shows, first of all, you should not even be held right now at the time of this letter because this not registering is void. It does not apply to you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, that already explains to the family that this is approximately 1 year after December 2nd of 2009 when you explained to the audience that you were on the street and there was something that took place, and when they ran your name, it came up in the computer for a probation violation, and that violation you've already explained was not registering, correct?
Correct. They
Oh,
ran when they took my print. When they took my print, the slave name came up. But when they had me detained, they had me as my sovereign name because they see me with all my sovereign identification on me. So when they ran me in and seen the slave name through the prints, they connected the slave name through the prints with my sovereign Hebrew Israelite tribal name, which is Charlandine ben Amimah Tazarian ben Yasha'Allah. And again to the family, I don't cut my beard. I'm going to keep saying that from time to time. Look at my eyebrows. Look at my eyelashes. I have alopecia. I don't do that. I don't violate the law. Don't disrespect me. Continue on.
Okay, I will. And that brings out another important point. I'm going to right now give the medical term and definition, Mighty Hebrew, for alopecia, because they went to a scripture in Leviticus, and we know that you do not break the laws, statutes, and commandments that are in the Torah. Alopecia is a rare type of hair disorder which occurs when your immune system mistakenly attacks hair follicles, which is where your hair growth begins. Alopecia usually begins and the hair clumps fall out, resulting in totally smooth, round, hairless patches or complete loss of hair on the face and scalp. So that throws out the shaving your beard thing completely, correct?
Correct. I never shave my beard ever in my life. Never. Once my hair start falling out, I will walk around with whatever little hair I had until it all completely fell out. Even if you look at me when I sat on the couch with Seti and Natural Tahuti and Sa Netta at the House of Consciousness, you can see the process of my hair coming out. You can look at me right now and see that I don't have any eyebrows. So for anybody that think that the Mighty Hebrew is violating the law and having a smooth face, they don't know what they're talking about. The only thing they got to do is come and ask me. I don't violate the laws, period. Okay? So that's out the question. Look at my eyelashes. I don't have any. Look at my, you don't see no shadow. You know why you don't see no shadow? Because I don't shave. So all y'all that think that the Mighty Hebrew shave and he clean face, y'all just stood to be corrected. But let's get back to the point, to the documentation. Because that's what I want to get back to. Because everybody that keep running around about these so-called rumors to try to, dehumanize me, you understand what I'm saying? Because they know I'm a power speaker within the nation. It ain't going to work, Jack. You understand what I'm saying? The Mighty Hebrew is back and for real. And we going to get this nation building popping. Messianics, Torah Center, Talmudic Center, Israelites, we come together, and there ain't no COINTELPRO, Project Megiddo acts or tactics is going to stop us. Let's bring this information out, because I'm tired of playing games with these dudes, man.
I agree. And I've got some documentation pulled up here. So,
and matter of fact, before you say that, listen, I try to be peaceful. I try to let it slide when that little comment came on there with, when the interview with Tazariak's wife and Polite was on the joint. Not to say Polite had anything to do with it. It was somebody that called in. I don't know who had anything to do with what, because I go by Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. We need 2 to 3 to bear witness. So I don't know who's doing what or saying what. But what I'm saying is it was a little cut. You understand what I'm saying? And then when I went on in the Black Radio before then, you know what I mean? And Solar Mind had a right to ask me. And he asked me about the situation. And I told him about the situation. But I didn't give him no documentation like I gave you the documentation, because I feel as though my works is credible. You understand what I'm saying? The way I walk, the way I talk, the way I move is credible. Man, I don't rape no kids. I ain't no fucking rapist. All right? So we're going to get that clear. Now, come on, let's build. Let's bring it in.
I agree. That's one thing you are not.
Man. You understand what I'm saying? Show me the victim. Before you go, show me the victim. Show me the victim of this situation. You understand what I'm saying? This whole joint was a lie. This offense, this said offense happened when I was, or supposedly happened when I was 17 years old. Man, you know how old I am? I'll be 40. Y'all bringing up some stuff that supposedly happened over 20 plus years ago, and y'all thinking when I just got locked up in the late 2009, y'all assume that I got locked up on some sex offense. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. But if you would have just asked me, you would have known. Come on, bring it in.
Right, I agree. And that's one thing the Mighty Hebrew is not. He is not a molester nor a rapist. Now, Mighty Hebrew, This next document I'm showing the family just verifies our dates, and this is from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and it shows the charging date in December of 2009, okay? And it says clearly right here, for aggravated assault and related charges. Now, you already explained to the family and the audience earlier what that incident and situation was in 2009. So now we're going to jump back to 2010. Now, in December 12th of 2010, at this point, you're being held, you've been charged, and you're trying to prove that you have a different name, because right now they know you as two people, and you're trying to prove that you are actually sovereign and that your violation wasn't lawful or justifiable in the first place. So, briefly, if you tell the people, I'm going to pull up the petition of release, which is dated for December of 2010, and then we'll talk on that, and then we will follow up with the appeal. So if you can give, and anybody that's dealt with the court system, nothing moves fast, okay? Every single petition, appeal, document that the Mighty Hebrew had to file, we are talking about weeks and months while he is waiting for a response. So if you'll briefly touch on the petition of release process and also explain to the audience that you were doing this all by yourself, no public defender and no lawyer, and I'll pull up the paperwork, good brother.
Absolutely. All right, so once you pull up that first document, I'm going to show and prove. You know, everybody running around talking about, you know, it's more than being a Hebrew Israelite by word of mouth. You can quote a couple of verses. But when you actually got to live out this culture on a daily basis, on a sovereign level, it's a whole nother different ball game. So I'm waiting for the Lord to put up the first documentation, well, the second piece of or the third, I mean, this will be actually the third piece of documentation showing how I tried to post Baal as a living, breathing flesh and blood man. See, everything I was dealing with my sovereign rights. Whenever you're ready, here we go. Is that it right there? No, that's not it.
This is just showing the family that this is Shar Yasharallah in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and this is the appealing date which we spoke on, and then we will get into the summary of that and it being denied. And so if you could just take over for about 10 seconds, I'll pull up the next paper.
Absolutely. And where you see the black marks at, because there's no deception, where you see the black marks at, the black marks was only placed, I'm saying, to protect, you understand what I'm saying, certain people that was also involved in helping me to actually come up against the system about my sovereignty, and that by me trying to bury me like they burying natural talent. But I had a power, Yahweh, Hallelujah, you know what I mean? And I had the sovereign attorney general with me. I can't say his name, I won't say his name. And those that were with me, you understand what I'm saying? We was able to get me out. So go ahead, continue, good brother.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm stop sharing this picture, and this next document we have is the one second, I got it. All right, this is the document I'm about to provide right now for the Mighty Hebrew, and this basically shows right here that the appellant's petition to be released in the bond blood man and the flesh and trying to sign or post bail was denied. And as we mentioned, at this time you're incarcerated, you're being held. This is December 9th, 2010. Okay, so if you'll briefly touch on that, and then I will move to the next document showing that you petition and you actually appeal their denial of your release, and I'll pull up the appeal papers if you take over, good brother.
Okay. Now, if you look at this document here and you look at what's encircled, you can clearly see that I'm posting bail not as a commercial entity, but as a living, breathing flesh and blood, man. It's right there. The document is right there. No type of paperwork, but my own ROR, meaning that I don't have to give any type of dollars and cents because I'm a sovereign, I'm a natural living being. I'm not a juristic person. I'm a Hebrew Israelite now. I don't none of when it deals with a situation as to the natural man being free, as you can clearly see on the document. It clearly talks about my bell, VO, the living, breathing flesh and blood man, ROR. ROR means my own recognizance, meaning I just walk out without giving no type of. And the way they denied that, but guess what? The Creator is the most powerful one. In the end, I'm gonna have the last laugh as we go ahead, good brother.
Okay, this next document I'm providing. First of all, I already knew this information. The Mighty Hebrew's word was enough for me, but he wanted to present this, and I understand why. As we see here, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Shar Yasser, and we see the dates. This is stemming from 2009 when he was picked up, and when they ran his name, he had not registered, but he didn't because he was sovereign. And I need everybody to remember that because it plays a very important role as we continue on. And this is June 23rd of 2010. This is when the Mighty Hebrew starts his appeal process. Now, Mighty Hebrew, if you could explain for a few seconds on your appeal process, I'll pull up the next document, good brother.
Okay. Well, in my appeal process, as you're going to see, I didn't come under what is called pro se. You understand what I'm saying? I came under what I'm saying. I came as a living, breathing flesh and blood man. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm in court because what happens at times when you're fighting on a sovereign level like this, the courts being want a jurisdiction. There's two types of things that the court must actually deal with to even place you in jurisdiction. Status. And now what happens with so-called Negroes, because the birth certificate is a manufactured straw man document that locks you in the jurisdiction under the 14th Amendment as persons. Okay, what I did was I defined myself as national of Judah, which is my proper status under the subject matter jurisdiction of the kingdom of Yahweh, who's coming in the house of Yahudah, being self-governed under the Torah constitution. My whole argument, first, my whole argument from the I didn't even do that specific crime, number one, back in 1994. Number two, the crime that had happened was on a juristic person. It wasn't even on a real living entity. That's number two. And number three, they tried to impose a so-called registration law on me that didn't even pertain to me as a living, breathing flesh and blood man, but as a corporate entity, so-called Landine Strange. Okay? That is not the real me. The real me is Charlandine Ben Ami Montazariam Ben Yasha'Allah. And this is why we at the United Nation of Israel clearly say that you don't change your name, you correct your name. That's two different things. When my name got corrected, and you're going to see this in a minute, I didn't have to pay for anything. Everything that I did was free. You understand what I'm saying? I don't pay for freedom. I was born free. I was born sovereign. So as you see right here, this document is going to get inside, you understand what I'm saying, showing my so-called arguments. And also while we here, it takes 2 to 3 to bear witness. The brother right here tell you, when we went on the internet today to look up this case, they will not let you see this case. And could you expound a little bit on that, brother, when we tried to look up the case today online?
I sure can. First thing for the audience, this document you're seeing right now, you see is Shar Yasharallah, okay? And this is the petition for allowance of appeal to the Superior Court embedded in the first week of December 2012. Now, this is where the Mighty Hebrew appeals the fact that they denied his petition of release. Now, once again, the Mighty Hebrew is currently, at this time, fighting this case on his own, but he's also fighting it while incarcerated. So the next thing I'm going to pull up is get into the argument, the summary of argument. So if you could briefly touch on that and give me about 15 seconds to pull those up, Mighty Hebrew.
All right, no problem. Now, in the court of law, everything with them is based on argument. When you're a sovereign, you're dealing with corporations, there's no argument. So we gotta be careful and listen to the language of how they're speaking. It was never an argument with me from the beginning. Okay, it was me saying to them to prove that they had proper status and subject matter jurisdiction over me. That's just the bottom line, which they never had subject matter jurisdiction on me from the day I was born. But once I openly proclaimed and declared who I was, there was no subject matter jurisdiction. And we're going to see that. But this right here is going to be showing inside the superior court how I'm navigating. I'm not navigating as a guilty man. I'm navigating as a living, breathing flesh and blood man, innocent of a so-called corporated crime that I never did. You understand what I'm saying? And it's going to be proven in a second, because under the federal law 7211, all crimes is commercial over here in the United States. You understand what I'm saying? Because the United States is a corporation protected under the 14th Amendment. And this is where so-called Negroes' rights are protected under the 14th Amendment. Why? Because they are defined as property. They're not defined as living, breathing flesh and blood men because they 3/5. They don't have the 2/5 element component of a living, breathing flesh and blood man. You know, these brothers want to come on YouTube and make things about me and don't even know me. You understand what I'm saying? I never disrespected nobody. You gonna throw about me that wasn't even true. So hopefully if the brother, whoever that did this, you know, Judah Israel that did this, you know, it would be beautiful, good brother, if you know, you put a video out there for an apology. You understand what I'm saying? Because you actually just bear false witness against your brother, and that's against the Torah, because you told the public that I shave my face when I don't shave my face. And furthermore, that's even if this Judah Israel actually really exists, because it could be a conspiracy to make it seem as though there's Messianic Hebrew Israelites that's against me to try to destroy the unity of Torah and the Israelites and Messianics. But for now, I really believe it's a COINTELPRO front acting like they're a Messianic Hebrew Israelite to cause division. But guess what, buddy? There ain't going to be no division. Hallelujah. We here. We ain't going nowhere. The Mighty Hebrew ain't going nowhere. I don't care how many Euro Gentile fake documents you try to put up there, or these different images that you try to use, saying, you know, even though you didn't make mention, you understand what I'm saying, of the so-called alleged accusation about me, because you don't know the factual information as to what happened to me. But what you did was you put an image up there to discredit me. But guess what, buddy? The Israelites that been around me for years already knew about this situation, brother. This ain't nothing new. I ain't into that, brother. I got 4 children. I got a 9-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, and a 5-year-old, man. I don't do nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? Come on now. Break it down, brother.
Right.
On the screen there.
Right. Now, you know, as we all know, the Mighty Hebrew is a righteous family man with a wife and children. Now, this next document, Mighty Hebrew, that you spoke about is the summary of the argument. And briefly, I'm going to read it for the family, and then you can expound on it while I pull up the next documentation. And the first argument, section A, states that the evidence was insufficient to support a conviction of failure to verify address and failure to register where the appellant lacked mens rea necessary for a conviction due to mistake of his sovereign immunity and ignorance of application of law and evidence. failed to establish that appellant received forms regarding verification of address and locations for registration. Now, they just said that the evidence proves, okay, that this man did not verify his address, and this is the only reason that the mighty Hebrew was violated and had a probation violation against him in 2009 because of lack and failure to verify address and register where he was staying. Now, he did not do that because at this time he had already filed for his sovereignty and was under the impression he was sovereign. He's a freedom fighter, and he don't have to register with these people, which you'll see at the end is actually true because it's actually what cleared and released him. Section B states, trial court erred in finding appellant guilty of failure to register and failure to verify under the law, where appellant was required to comply with the law, which reduced the gradation and penalty for those offenses, which resulted in court imposing an illegal sentence. I repeat, which resulted in the court imposing an illegal sentence. Now, if you'll break that down, Mighty Hebrew, I'll move on to the next documents, good brother.
Absolutely. Now, the reason why that they can impose that on me, family, is because it's a difference when you have what is called a residence. You live in a residence versus you dwell in a sovereign demistyle. See, my so-called house was fenced, and there was a sovereign flag hanging from out of it. So I was living in a demistyle. So I was in violation of anything. And if you notice carefully, they're not even identifying me as the legal fiction. They identify me as, Charlandine bin Ami Montazarian bin Yasha'Allah, for short, Shar Yasha'Allah. So they knew that they was dealing with the living, breathing flesh and blood man. And you're going to see that as we continue with the documentation that was sent to their courts, as well as the United Nations. I'm going to show you how the United Nations was even involved in this, as far as going all the way to London, England, and all the way to Vatican City and Italy. So y'all don't even know what y'all dealing with. Y'all think y'all dealing with somebody that's just a regular Joe that read the Tanakh and that's it, and I'm quoting verses. No, I told y'all that I'm dealing with sovereignty on the international level, and I'm going to show you how what I did through the spirit of Yahweh freed me to be here amongst y'all today. Hallelujah. But that right there is only showing that they're saying the only so-called crime that I did was fail to verify my address with the state police. That was the crime that they say I did. But the real crime is that I openly proclaimed and declared to this government who we were. I wasn't just speaking for me. I was speaking for the whole Hebrew Israelite nation, that we are living, breathing flesh and blood, autonomistic, tribalistic, you understand what I'm saying, theocratic self-government. This is one of the catalysts that's causing the unification of our people and the manifestation of the 1/3 coming from out of this. Did not Joseph in the scriptures get accused for rape that he didn't do? Didn't he? Didn't they throw him in the dungeon and put him in the dungeon for something he didn't do? You questioning Joseph? You questioning Joseph if he did that or not? I'm telling you I didn't do it. Simple and plain. I'm not running around hiding about the situation. I'm right here in the open. Anybody that want to interview me and deal with the subject matter, we can do it. I ain't hiding about nothing. I got my documentation. I got proof. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a freedom fighter, and I'm going to fight for my people and watch for the resurrection of the children of Israel until they put me underneath this earth. And until then, I'll resurrect through my seeds, and they'll live on and fight for me. Hallelujah.
That's right, Mighty Hebrew. And one thing I just want to stress, before we go into this next document is the fact that we're not talking about somebody that turned state's witness. We're not talking about somebody that pleaded out and was cooperating. We're talking about a man that did this by himself and sat behind them walls the whole time and waited for the results with his dignity and his honor. And thank God this man's out right now to this day. With that being said, we explained the charges. We explained the petition of release. We explained how that got denied and he appealed it. We explained the summary of the argument. So this next documentation, and all this is factual, okay? Due to what we'll get into later, dealing with his sovereignty, all the information is not available through the state of Pennsylvania's website. And I'll stress that. You cannot just go to publicrecordscasesearch.com and go to state of Pennsylvania and look this up. This is the direct documentation from the mighty Hebrew himself that was filed in this court of law. Now, this is the reasons that they allowed the mighty Hebrew and they granted him an appeal in Supreme Court. Now, we're not talking about district court where you go for a traffic ticket or if you get pulled over and you know you got a couple swishers on you in an open container. We're not talking about circuit court. We have now gone to the highest level in the judicial system here in the so-called United States of America. Now, this states that they granted this man an appeal. This allowance of appeal is sought in the Supreme Court, established whether the mens rea is a requirement and necessary element in providing a violation of the registration and verification requirements of the law, and the version, where is it acceptable to a violation, version at time of release from prison or version in effect at the time. Now pay attention. Although the appellant was wrong about being a diplomat and having sovereignty and immunity at the time, his incorrect and or mistaken belief that prevented him from having the required men's registration necessary, which resulted in conviction for failure to verify address and failure to register. Okay? Now that speaks on the appeal, and I'm going to pull up the next document. Take over, good brother.
Okay. As you see right here, you know, the meeting, you know, they're giving you lies and truth at the same time. They're showing you that my mind state was sovereign. But because I'm dealing with a commercial entity and they cannot reveal openly to the world our sovereign immunity as living, breathing, flesh and blood Hebrew Israelites, they say his mistaken belief that he was a diplomat and he was sovereign. You understand what I'm saying? That this why he violated. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't violate because he was just ripping and running on the street doing crazy stuff, robberies, murders, aggravated assault, selling drugs, rape, any of that. They don't say there's out their mouth the reason why this man violated because of his, what he claims or they claim, his misunderstanding of him being a sovereign and having diplomatic immunity. Now you got to hear what they're saying. Isn't this what we're fighting for as Torah-centered Hebrew Israelites, Talmudic-centered Hebrew Israelites, and Messianic-centered Hebrew Israelites? Aren't we fighting for this? You understand what I'm saying? Are we not fighting on a level like this? We're not just talking about getting a community center and better schooling. I'm talking about severing completely away from this system. And this is what my evidence in the documents that is in the court is showing you. It's not showing you that I'm this vicious, notorious person. You understand what I'm saying? People are trying to use this. It's not a bunch of people, but it's certain people within the conscious community, whether they're Hebrew Israelite or not, is trying to use, you know, the so-called pictures, you know, of me having to register, you understand what I'm saying, as a catalyst that try to discredit me without actually mentioning the crime. The reason why the person never mentions the crime, just talk my hair, is because there's of many reasons. He may have found out that I'm sovereign, number one. And number two, he knows that the situation isn't true. It isn't true. But what he did was he put the mugshot picture up there to give y'all the impression. So when y'all look at it, you can have a preconceived notion about me. Instead of asking me, I deal openly with Israel. I'm one of the head tribal ministers of the kingdom of Yahweh's covenant house of Yahudah. Okay? I'm also in connection with diplomatic and sovereign leaders in the land of Israel. I'm in contact with Israelites all over the world. I started congregations. I've written books. I'm not no small fry. I didn't just start when I got on the House of Consciousness. I was already known globally, House of Consciousness. So when I'm saying to y'all, brothers and sisters, that was put up there about me, that's what it is. It's crap. I cut my facial hair. Lied and told y'all, look, I'm going to give y'all a close-up. Look at my eyebrows. Y'all see it? Look at my eyebrows. I do not shave, family, because I have alopecia. Let's continue. Oh, come on.
No doubt. Now, this is where it gets into dealing with the sovereign issue and sovereignty. Now, this is the tribal minister, Mighty Hebrew's official ID. Now, you see the official stamps. Okay, and this is where his sovereignty, this is from the kingdom of Yah of hosts, covenant house of Yahudah, his national ID, which was submitted from the ambassador to the courts. And we've got some more documentation I need to present. And the next one is, one second, family. Okay, this next one is from the kingdom of Yah of hosts, and this is the public notice. This is where from the United Nations. Okay, this is where this documentation is from the tribal elders of the covenant house of Yahudah, and this declares his sovereignty. And this was submitted, and this is what led to proving and up to the Mighty Hebrew's release. Now, I need to emphasize that anytime you're dealing with a court of law and there's any kind of documentation, every single step of the way, there's months and months of just waiting. So, Mighty Hebrew, if you explain your ID and this notice real quick, and I'll pull up the next couple documents, and we will get into the last documentation we have, good brother.
Absolutely. If you look at my ID, he didn't show the back part, but if you look at the front part, it's letting you know that I'm a sovereign tribal member in the kingdom of Yahweh. It gives you my address as my sovereign domicile, and me, you know, the embassy being in Tacoma, Washington, as well as if you look at the back of the identification, which the brother here also has, it says that we do not number the children of Israel based on the Torah Constitution. You understand what I'm saying? That public notion, that public notice right there is showing to the world that we proclaim and declare to the world that the Hebrew Israelite nation is a sovereign, autonomous nation. That was connected on there. Also, what was connected was also the mission statement, the public notice of my identification, and also we're going to get into though the heavens may fall, let justice be done, which went to London, England, and then we're going to go into the last documents of the decision of the courts, which finalized my release.
That's right. That's exactly what we're going to do. We've got it all right here. This next document I'm showing briefly to the family. This is the Kingdom of Yah Host International Embassy, showing his official credentials, and then we'll get into how this is accepted and verified through the United Nations, and we'll bring out the last couple of documentations. If you want to speak on this briefly, I'll pull up the next one, good brother.
What what I need for you, because I don't have it like right directly, but what I want you to do is read it from the top so they can hear what Ambassador Mikael War Ben Yisrael is saying about me to the courts. And what documentations was filed on my behalf so the family can see.
Okay, it's going to take me a second to pull that up. I've got them in a certain order. So if you could just talk to the family for a couple of minutes, I'll pull it up.
But while he's pulling this information up, family, I need for y'all to understand something. We are in the last days, meaning the last days or last age of the Euro Gentile rulership. And what I'm saying, family, is we can't be counterproductive, and claim to be freedom fighters, but in turn fighting against our own liberation. Man, listen, I'm a freedom fighter. I'm a Hebrew Israelite national. I'm Torah centered. I'm here for every Hebrew Israelite camp on this planet. You understand what I'm saying? That want to proclaim and declare to the world who they are and rule in righteousness. You understand what I'm saying? Ezekiel 18, I talk about, the sins of the past. Yeah, I sold drugs. Yeah, I was shooting them guns. Yeah, I was doing things that was crazy. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, I don't take no pussy. All right. And that got to be made clear. You understand what I'm saying? I was set up. I was 17 years old. I was a kid. You understand what I'm saying? And because the way that the system is designed, they put you in such a corner, you understand what I'm saying, that you play out. And I fought, you know what I mean? And this was reintroduced to me when they locked me back up in 2009. And I said, you know what? While I was out there, when I got released in 2005, I did 10 and a half years for this so-called sex offense, as well as with the firearms they got on me and the drugs, okay? But what I'm saying is this. I said to myself, how could I have this knowledge as an Israelite, but still be operating under your Gentile rule? I couldn't understand it. Like when I would walk down the street, I see Israelites everywhere on street corners, different camps, going to different camps. But what I seen was people still under the genocide and the restrictions from those that had them captive. So I'm saying to myself, if it was the law that enslaved our people, it would only be natural that the law would free us. So my whole objective was I can't say that I'm this, that, and the third, and I'm not moving and operating like that. So it was imperative, okay? It was imperative, family, that, I dealt with this situation at hand. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not here. I don't have to lie to anybody. I don't have to. You know what I could have did? I could have just fell back and said, you know what? They can believe whatever they want to believe. I know the truth. But I want the family to be involved. You know why? Because guess what? We family. So family don't have to hide anything from family. But I will not, put out dirty laundry. This ain't dirty laundry. You know what this is? This is showing that if we do things right, we can be free. We can be a free, sovereign, autonomous nation if we go back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator. Hallelujah.
I agree. And I would just like to add, like you said, Mighty Hebrew, why hide from something that is not the truth, that has no relevance at all? It would have been a lot easier if anybody had questions instead of taking this route, especially if this is somebody, that you consider a brother. And the timing is very, very suspect to me. There's been a lot of progress, and you've been involved in that on the front line, and you played a pivotal role. Real quick, I would like to show to the audience, Mighty Hebrew, this is the official stamps and notarized letters that came from the embassy and were submitted through the United Nations. And then the next document I have starts to play on with the link to the Vatican City and the London Crown and things like that, okay?
Dang.
Okay, and this
Matter
one.
of fact, what I need for you to do, that piece that you just showed, Could you read that to the family, that piece right there, so they know where all the documents came, was sent to, and known by and recognized by? Could you do that?
Yeah, let me pull it back up because I just got rid of it trying to pull up the next document, okay?
Yes, sir.
1 second.
And I want you to read the stamp, the seals as well.
Well, the seals are from the kingdom of Yah, and we know those affiliations. But unfortunately, Mighty Hebrew, even when I have it zoomed in for the family to see how small it is,
Yes, sir.
I'm not able to read that, but you can always take a better shot and I'll add it to the video. But as far as where we're at right now, you see the how small the text is.
Right.
I
I
was
can, I can see it. You want me to read it?
please.
It says all documentation has been filed in public records in Pierce County, Washington's auditorial office, public records. It says along with the United States Department of State Office of Foreign Affairs and the United Nations General Assembly in care of Kofi Annan, Secretary General. Please note that a physical flag of with the Declaration of Sovereignty, United Nations. It says these were are 6 PS registered mail. The International Embassy, okay, the International Embassy and National Sanctuary are located in the geographical boundaries of Washington State. Now, these are the documents that were sent. 1, the Kingdom of Yah hosts Declaration of Sovereignty. 2, the Kingdom of Yah hosts mission statement with United Nations International Law Commission of Diplomatic Relations 1961. 3, Kingdom of Yah hosts public notice of identification. 4, Kingdom of Yah of host public notice. And 5, apostille certificate and appointment as ambassador and overseer with the photocopy, the information to the judge that it went to, the ambassador's phone number. You got the land seal, the postmaster seal, the national court seal, the ecclesiastical court seal, and the ambassador seal, thus proving the documentation is authentic. Hallelujah.
All right. So basically, just to sum up what we've showed and proved, good brother, we took this from district court to circuit court, and remind everybody that at this time you're fighting this by yourself, and you're doing this with sovereignty as a tribal minister, knowing that you're a child and minister of Israel, and you're doing this by yourself with no hot shot, big shot Philadelphia lawyer, not even with the public defender that they're required by law to give you for free. So
Okay.
we compliment, and we understand the fight you went through. So okay, now just to make sure we're on the same page, Mighty Hebrew, the next thing I want to go into, because I believe we've covered everything up until this point. This document is called the Fiat Justitia Ruet Kulam, and this is from the office of the ambassador Sharia Sharala, okay? And this is going to the Supreme Court, and this is after the paperwork was submitted to the United Nations. Now, some of this language is either in Greek or Latin, so I'm going to screen share, Mighty Hebrew, and I'm going to let you explain just exactly what this documentation means and how important it is. And this was kind of your victory letter. So can you see that?
Absolutely. Well, that's Latin, which means though the heavens may fall, let justice be done. And this, piece was sent, to the acting attorney general, care of 20th Victoria Street in London, England, via the crown. You understand what I'm saying? In the papacy, the Pope of Rome and all them, as well as the Queen of England. And what this document shows that a living, breathing flesh and blood man, you understand what I'm saying, Hebrew Israelite, is being illegally detained by a commercial entity of theirs. Because remember, the United States is a commercial entity to London, England. And since I was being held warehoused under one of their corporate entities, naturally I would go to them to make this government or this fictitious government release me. This documentation right here, as you can clearly see my name, as well as my slave name, Pennsylvania, United States minor, outlining islands. You could clearly see that I show in this 6-page documentation on each corner. On the back and front, you got to put your toe prints on there, showing that I'm a living, breathing flesh and blood man, showing that this situation that I was in was based on fraud. It wasn't based on anything that I did wrong to anybody, but it was all based on fraud. And what I wanted them to do is get in contact with their attorney general, which in turn would get in contact with the United States attorney general, in turn get in contact with the Pennsylvania attorney general, but mainly what the United States attorney general would do would get in contact with my ambassador from the embassy that I'm involved with, and then in turn they would get in contact with the Pennsylvania attorney general and have the DOC or the Department of Corrections of Pennsylvania release the living, breathing flesh and blood man. And with that attachment right there, the manufactured birth certificate was connected to that, showing and proving that I gave back, you understand what I'm saying, the legal fiction. You understand what I'm saying? The manufactured birth certificate, which is a bond that was holding me captive. You understand what I'm saying? And that's, you can see it right there. Hallelujah.
Exactly. All right. Now, for anybody that doubted the good brother, the tribal minister himself, the mighty Hebrew, I think we have provided more than sufficient evidence and documentation. And I'm not talking about your local county clerk. I'm not talking about any kind of state, district, circuit court. No, sir. This man took it to the Supreme Court, fought for his freedom, for unjustifiably being detained. And we proved that this was the only thing that kept this man from being at home with his family and his children, doing the good work that he's known for doing on behalf of the Almighty Creator. So with that being said, mighty Hebrew, as far as my list and the documentation, I believe we covered everything from 94 up until now. We covered the charges, the petitions for the release, the appeal, the summary of the argument. We covered your sovereignty, your diplomatic title and immunity due to being a tribal minister in the House of Yahudah. And, you know, we showed and proved with the Supreme Court and the United Nations and all the way to the London court. So right now, I don't have any questions, but I would like you to just, if you think there's anything that may still be floating.
It's a couple more pieces that I gave you that I want them to see. The indecision, there's a piece, the last piece of 2013, which shows that they found me right in part and guilty in part, and that's when they released me.
I'll pull that up. Just talk to the family and give me a minute to find that documentation. I had a lot of it pulled up, okay?
Yes, sir. So again, getting back to the family, we're not going to make it specifically about me. But what I will say, it's the same thing that went on in the 60s, man, in the 70s. You know, you had a dude by the name of J. Edgar Hoover. His whole objective was to stop the rise of a black messiah. You understand what I'm saying? Who electrified the nationalistic aims of black America. And what has happened because of this destruction within our nation, you understand what I'm saying? We got our own people playing a reincarnation of J. Edgar Hoover. You know, nobody has come to me face to face. The only one that I can see, man, and ask me this is the host of this show, my brother Solomon, you know, and a couple other people, man. Everybody else is behind closed doors, you know what I mean, giggling and talking and trying to throw information out there that they don't even have a clue on what's going on. Instead of asking me, do I cut my beard? No, I don't cut my beard. Yo, did I have sexual relations with a minor 4 years younger than me? You ain't never even asked me that. You just assumed and you thought, you understand what I'm saying, that I did something like that. You understand what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, you understand what I'm saying? I can't put certain people involved in the situation, but everybody knows, from where I'm from, saying from my family members, through the mother of my children. I got 4 beautiful children with Princess Yashiyat, Zakaria, Akita, Rashana, Benef, Yasha Allah. You understand what I'm saying? My fiance know the whole situation. Queen Bathsheba, Benef, Yasha Allah. As a matter of fact, she even know the players involved in the situation and will tell you that ain't true. So all y'all, the people that are big, I've been in some of the most notorious prisons. I've been in Greater Ford. You understand what I'm saying? I've been in Western. I've been in Fratville. I've been to Cold Town shit. You understand what I'm saying? I've been in different prisons and I ain't get nothing but respect because everybody knows there's power is in the Israelite nation right now. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't got to put their names out with me. That was my students that's teaching today. You understand what I'm saying? And worry about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going to happen, we got to be real careful at who we attack. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all don't know who y'all dealing with. Y'all be thinking y'all just dealing with, random people, man. And then you don't understand what you're dealing with. And then when repercussions come, then it's a problem. Now I'm the evil one. I'm the bad guy. I'm saying keep my name out your mouth. If you're not going to come with the facts. You know what I'm saying? And as a real man of Yah, any real man of Yah, or any real man that's dealing with Mayat and balance, or truth, justice, and equality, you understand what I'm saying? They would have came right at me. You understand what I'm saying? As a man, and then explained their position, and they would have found out the truth. That's why when I put that piece up that you can go see right now on YouTube with Black and Nobel Books, when I was with Minister Aziz of the Moorish Science Temple and Minister Ali from the United Nations of Israel. Come on, man. This minister, man, he was down for 30 plus years. He know me personally. You understand what I'm saying? He know I ain't that type of person. See, y'all dudes don't know me. A lot of y'all new jacks. I ain't no young boy in this. I've been studying and building with Yisrael for over 20 years. You understand what I'm saying? Any of y'all that want to question me can question me. There's a whole bunch of brothers in the nuclear. I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people that know me, man. And the nerve of you to try to, stop unity because of your twisted philosophical view of how you view life. Life ain't centered around your beliefs, man, about who has the power and who don't have the power. And it's that simple. This struggle has always been about power, family. So all that you trying to dehumanize and demoralize me, it ain't gonna work. Because this power and this truth that I'm bringing is so powerful, it's destroying even the boy that was doing it, sounded like a clown. Instead of being a man like, yo, man, you got the mighty Hebrew number, let me go call him and see what's going on. Because he be dropping a lot of jewels, man. And I hear this slander, but let me ask the brother. Let me see what's going on. If you believe that I cut my beard, you should be like, man, let me see why he cut his beard. It never phantom in your mind that, damn, he got a condition, alopecia. See, that never phantom in you. You wanted to from the written to your mind, you already have a preconceived notion about so-called Old Testament Israelites violating the law. Or it could be somebody that's faking as they messianic to cause a division within the ranks. It ain't happening. I love Priest Dana Allah. I love Captain Tazaria. I love Captain Tahar War. I love GMS. Elder Tahar. I don't care what anybody say, man. You understand what I'm saying? I love Chief Prince Zipporah, Zion Lex, Gorilla Hebrew, Divine Prospect, Prince or Nasi Yashuvel. I love all my brothers. Natural Tahuti, I hope he doing well up there where he at, and hopefully I pray into Yah, the eternal one of Israel, that he get out that situation that he in. I love all Israel all over the four corners of the earth, and even those that don't know that they Yisrael. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing is going to stop this move here that we doing, family. I don't give a damn what they try to say about me. Just know that the mighty Hebrews on record letting you know the real deal and what really happened. And I got the documentation to prove it. You understand what I'm saying? And not only that, the real documentation is the creator of heaven and earth and my work and my walk. So I never know me. So I never know that I'm a man of honor, a man of integrity, and a man of respect. So I never know back what happened to me in December of 2009. Nikki Love knew what happened to me in 2009. They know that I didn't get locked up for that crap. They all knew that. They all knew. I ain't got no problem with, Shaka Akmos. I don't even know him. I ain't got no problem with Seti, none of these dudes. See, the problem is everybody got egos. Everybody want to be right to the point that they're causing destruction in our communities. Now, why would you do that to a man that's a freedom fighter that's going up against this government? See, y'all didn't know I was going up against the government on a level like that. You understand what I'm saying? To declare and proclaim to the world, like, look, man, I'm not under the dictates of you. Why? Because the white man created some fictitious law and you went for that? And they put my face on some registration website and you thought I was that person? Everybody making this law. It's not a child molester. It's getting so far. Let me put y'all onto something before I pass this back to the brother. See, y'all thought that, oh man, they put that, they created Megan's Law or something that'll protect us from the safety of the public. So, protect the safety of the public. So, people not going to be raping kids and women and men or whoever the case may be. But you got a new Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, that from the registration of Megan's Law and the Adam Walls, that in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, a drug dealer, you have to register as a drug dealer. And if you get caught, if you don't register your address as a convicted drug dealer, you get 30 months mandatory in the federal prison. This is the law in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. But see, you thought, oh, they was only doing that to them, that it don't apply to me. See, what they doing is they create these databases to control the people, the population. That's what the Patriot Act was all about. The breakdown. That's why they telling you to give up your guns. That's why they telling you, it's cool to spy on you. You don't have no rights in America. You claim how much you hate the white man, but then you try to use a false document from the white man to dehumanize me. Just listen to the oxymoronic bullshit. You actually telling people that the white man is a wicked beast. And he's a forger of lies. As Job chapter 9, verse 24 states. This is the verse y'all use. He's a forger of lies. And then you turn around and go to the same liar and try to dehumanize a brother that is trying to bring forth unity and stop this chaos. You try to use a document that was based on bullshit because you never knew the full truth. Why? Because you never asked me. That's why you didn't know the truth. You assume that you know the truth because you might have think that you was privileged to certain information, but the information was bullshit. But we actually got the documents here to show you that I'm a freedom fighter. Show me your documents that you was detained for 5 years based on your freedom. When I was locked up for 5 years, I didn't tell on nobody that had anything to do with my situation, dealing with my sovereignty. I kept it to myself. I did my time and I fought and I fought. And as you can see, the day that I got locked up to the day of my release, I fought. I never laid down. That's not a sign of a guilty man. That's a sign of a man that's innocent, that wants to be free. So for all y'all that, that have this misconception or this preconceived notion about the mighty Hebrew, You understand what I'm saying? Come talk to me first. And the brothers that did it, guess what? I love y'all. Because like Yahweh Shai said it best, y'all know not what y'all do. Y'all think y'all know what y'all do. And I'm Torah Senate, and I just quoted my brother Yahweh Shai. Y'all know not what y'all do, because if y'all knew, then you would know that you persecuting the prophet of the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? And not be of the Most High. That's the same one which was locked up do. Talking about he raped him and all that. Had him locked up over 2 years. Just imagine, he probably was being slandered and all that crap too. Because he, that mighty Hebrew, is here. Hallelujah. I'm back, baby.
That's right. You're back, Mighty Hebrew. I've got 2 documents pulled up that we didn't go over to just further show and prove. But for some reason, I can't seem to find the one where it says it was reversed and you were at part halfway at fault, and then they reversed the other part. But it's on my computer. I had a lot of stuff pulled up, so let's talk on these 2 documents real quick, Mighty Hebrew, and I'll find the last one for the family. Okay, good brother?
No problem, good brother. No problem. Let me see the document. Okay, read the underline.
1 second, brother. Okay, this one that we didn't get to, the one I want to show right now that we didn't get to show the family is the state of Washington credentials. If you could explain that to the family real quick.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. See, again, man, I tell y'all, y'all don't know who I am. Y'all think y'all know me, but y'all don't. It's our charter within the covenant house of Yahudah, which has us deal with legal fictions that is recognized in the state of Washington. You see where it says it's the certificate of incorporation to the covenant house of Yahudah. Now, the kingdom of Yahos isn't incorporated, but the covenant house is, so we can actually deal with legal fictions. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the next document he's going to show you is showing you that I'm an actual tribal minister. See, a lot of people put titles on their subs and they don't be having no evidence, no documents, or nothing. See, when you move as a nation, these are the things that you're going to have. Bring that up, good brother, to show that I'm actually a minister in the kingdom of Yahos, covenant house of Yahudah. I needed you to see the charter. You saying something, good brother?
I was saying keep talking to him while I pull up the charter one.
One where it gives you my full name and show you that I'm a minister. That's what I want them to see, because it comes right after that Pacific document right there. Okay? And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that the creator can't, reveal to you who you are and you move in that magnitude. What I'm saying to you, when you are self-governed, there's an order. And see, that's the problem with our people. We don't have order. We don't have discipline. You need to be disciplined. You understand what I'm saying? This is why it's a problem with unity. This is why you got Messianics coming at Torah Center Israelites. Torah Center coming at Messianic Center Israelites. Men versus women. You got all this crazy stuff going on in our, and the crazy thing about all this family is when that situation with Tazariak's wife going to polite, which to me that was distasteful, but that ain't none of my business. Okay? But the crazy thing about it all is nothing to do with any of this stuff. And my name was brought up. Based on something I had nothing to do with, a random caller come in and talk this crazy, don't even know me. And say, well, let me go up to the brother. Come on, who does that? Who does that? Instead of like, let me deal with the brother and see what the brother's about, and I'm gonna talk to him face to face. You could have called me and said, yo, man, come out to Atlanta. Come out to New York, come out to Philly, wherever, man, Chicago. And let's sit down and talk and have something to eat, because I got some questions that I want to ask you, because I'm hearing about some certain accusations. I would say, you know what, brother, I'm on my way. I'm going to catch this plane. I'm on my way. Come on. You're not dealing with somebody. You know, I'm about to go down to Chicago soon to be with, you know, my ancient one, my elder Prince Asiel ben Israel. You know, I'm moving, you know, on a whole nother different level. Shoot down south with my brothers sisters up Charlotte with Maury Yoel. Then I'm gonna take me and my family, Israel, the hell with this captivity. If you don't want to go to Israel right now, you don't think it's the time, then so be it. That's your belief system. All right, here we go right here, good brother. What you got right there? You can explain your position, what you see, and then I'll add on to it.
No problem. I have no problem. This is the official documentation, and the top of the letterhead reads Kingdom of Yah of Host International Embassy. That's from the ambassador himself, Michael Israel, and that's from Tacoma, Washington, and that's the Covenant House of Yahudah Sanctuary. And this is the official declaration and appointment of Minister Charlan Dean Ben Ami Martazaria Ben Yasharallah. Now, I don't know how much more official you need to come for the people. When this man says he's the tribal minister, why do you think when I open up, when I interview him, or he comes to drop some knowledge, like the video he just did, bringing out the Torah-based science, we're like, man, I lean towards Kemen. I'm not a Hebrew, I like African spirituality. We only deal with science. Why are they begging me to have the Mighty Hebrew come back and drop part 2 to that video? Why was the Mighty Hebrew able to line up the ambassador himself to come on and speak about sovereignty, people? And this is foolishness. This is nonsense. And forever who made that video, man, David Yisrael, you might as well just go ahead and pull that video, man. We don't know what your prerogative is. We don't know why that channel was just created yesterday. Why that video had 9 views. Why is that the only video on that channel? You don't even have any subscribers. Okay? So let's cut it out, man. This man doesn't deserve this. I think everybody tonight knows that the Mighty Hebrew has had plenty of trials and tribulations in his lifetime and just wants to continue to do the work of the Creator and be a family man. So go on and pull that video. And that voice sounds familiar. That voice sounds real familiar.
Real familiar. You know what I mean? They talking about goons and this. I'm trying to stay peaceful. And you know, I got some comrades, that's real upset about this situation here. You know what I mean? But I'm going to keep it, but don't push me. Don't do it. You understand what I'm saying? Don't do it. We need unification. But remember, the Israelites, we warriors too. We ain't no cowards. And I ain't talking about, this, that, the third. It can get ugly, man. Because when you dishonor my family, man, you dishonor the mother of my children, my fiance, my mother, my father. May he rest in completeness. If I'm such a wicked man, then why when Polite's mother died, okay, when she died, I did the official prayer to mother. And even it's even on Sinetta's, Facebook book page. So I'm beyond all that y'all doing. Okay, if y'all want to separate over doctoral differences, go ahead. I'm beyond that. I'm on a whole nother level. I'm not on that level. And I'm not being facetious, but that type of thinking is for like the layman. That's not for real intelligent. Let me explain something to the powers that be that rule this. You think they believe in their doctoral differences? They about global domination. When they look at the people, to them, they are the laymen. You understand what I'm saying? Real men or aristocratic men of honor don't think like the laymen. And what I'm saying to y'all, and it's not to put anybody down, and I'm not saying no names, but a lot of people that claim that they dealing with scholarship is layman people that's still debating about who came first, Israel or Kemet, or Israel. Team, we still talking about that when in fact you see every single day another police officer either gunning down a brother, gunning down a sister, choking them up, claiming that they committed suicide. We being ran over. We a nation inside of a nation, and we talking about some dead pharaohs. Listen to what we talking about. In 2015, going on 2016, we talking about some dead pharaohs. Let's talk about if you know how to irrigate land. Let's talk about if you really know how to self-govern yourself and separate yourself from this system. Talking about you a freedom fighter. Let me see your information that you banged on the system the way I banged on the system. I don't see no information out there. I ain't got to lie and say I did this, that, the third. It's evident. Thousands of state prison. I taught thousands of people, man. Not no couple of hundred. Thousands of people came home and started Israelite schools. You don't know me. I was the co-founder of B'nai Yisrael, Hebrew Israelite Culture Center in North Philadelphia, which was an off-branch of Temple Kifraim, original out of Temple Kifraim. You know who my spiritual father is? My spiritual father is Prince Kaz ben Yisrael out of Temple Kifraim. All Torah Center Israelites know who Temple Kifraim is, and even some of you Messianics know. Then on top, after that, I off-branch and came with Moreh Neftali, made his former Isha, Sister Tamar, rest in peace, and in completeness, we started the Ancient Israelite Awareness Center. Not only on top of that, with SARS, Zaquin Levy, and Nasiyak Bo, I was co-founder of the Philadelphia Jurisdiction of the Kingdom of Yah. I'm the founder of Kwam Yasha Allah. That is a nationwide group of Israelites that deal with strictly sovereignty. I just became the chief historian of the new Kwam Yasha Allah magazine. What I'm saying to y'all brothers and sisters is this is about work. You got to work to get your freedom. And if you ain't working, because I heard there was a comment that, you know, that we ain't doing nothing. You better check my record and check my jacket. I've been working for Yisrael, man. As a matter of fact, there's witnesses, and I run a Shabbat line with me and Moreh Kazriel, which is actually, if y'all don't know, now y'all want to know, which is Nasi Yashuvel's, one of his proteges, one of his one of his students, me and Moreh Kazriel, as well as Moreh Yoel, as well as Ima Tamar. And thus, we run a Shabbat class every Friday night. People all over the United States is listening and tuning in. And the brothers that came on there that was locked up with me was saying that I saved their life, man. This is verified. We just had three weeks ago, we just had Killer Priest on there. That's a good friend of mine. I used to rap, you know, with G Cycles, with Killer Priest. See, y'all don't know me. Y'all think y'all know me. That's my Hebrew Israelite brother. I know Killer Priest personally. I know Chief Kamachi personally. Come on, my old rap partner was Sheliano. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody that know anything about raps out here and the smackdowns out here in Philly, before I was a conscious rapper, I was a street rapper. I was signed with Rough House Records. I was in a group called Poetic Alliance. I was affiliated with Bahamadia and different rappers back. You see, you don't know who you dealing with. Y'all think y'all know me, but y'all don't know me. But y'all gonna get to know me because guess what? I'm gonna be here on the front line fighting for unity until they put me 6 feet under. Like Hellraiser said, they want me buried alive. I ain't going nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? I'm right here directly in your face. You got a problem with me? Let me know. And as men, we can deal with it as men. Don't sit up here and be behind the screen. I'm showing you in your face my face. I'm not hiding behind the screen and putting images up there to hide who I am. I'm from Hunting Park. You can find me. I walk up down the street every day selling incense oil, shea butter. I'm always in black and Nobel. Everybody, Hakeem, that's my homie. Tyson, that you know, partners with my cousin from Black and Nobel. See, again, y'all dealing with somebody that's just some local dude. You get hurt dealing with me. So I'm going to ask y'all and I'm going to advise y'all to keep my name out y'all mouth. Because if not, then from there, the creator is going to deal with you on a level that you ain't going to be able to deal with. And that's all I got to say about that situation. Bring the documents up.
Right. And I don't think your claims or your requests are unwarranted, Mighty Hebrew. You know what I mean? I don't think that, you know, you're not justifiably right with your request and even having to address this tomfoolery and this foolishness. But good brother, what I need you to do for me right now is the last document I need is the one where it shows the judgment being reversed, and it explains that they did find you halfway at fault, and they did not find you were half guilty, half not guilty. I know that sounds crazy. For some reason, my computer won't pull it up. If you could send it to me on Facebook, that's the last one I need to show the family how the decision in the sentence was reversed.
What happened to it? Because you had it.
Mighty Hebrew, I've been looking for it for the last 5 minutes, and for some reason, yeah, I'm here. I've been looking for it for the last 5 minutes. That's the last one I need. I cannot find it. I've got over 20 documents. I made each one full size, full screen, and I cannot figure out which one it is.
Okay, but you do got it because we looked at it when you got it before we came on.
Right. And I know you sent it to me and I read it to you, but what I'm saying is it might have got deleted while I was trying to pull all these documents up, share them with the family, take care of the live stream, talk, interview you, control my mic, control the cameras. Yeah, it might. Can you have Wifey Hebrew send it real quick on Facebook?
She don't have the document at hand. Wow. And I can't get off of this right now. But what I will do is, if it's necessary, Mighty
Hebrew, if you want, you can jump out of this hangout, send it to me on Facebook, and jump right back in, and I'll just keep us live and talk to the family till you jump back on in a couple minutes. I want them to see this final decision.
Right. Okay. Do that real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it down. Go ahead.
All right. No problem.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. I mean, you're dealing with a righteous man, and you know I don't think that his requests are not justified or warranted. You know, it's a damn shame, you know, that he even has to, you know, address some of these claims. But there you have it. The Mighty Hebrew, you know, granted you access to his life story. You know, it played out like a book. And, you know, just from my observation, for what it's worth, you know, this timing is real funny and real suspect to me. So I hope whoever put that video up, please remove that video. It is clear you just created the channel yesterday. You have no subscribers. That video has 9 views. And the voice sounds real familiar. It sounds real familiar. And we did have a discussion before we went live with the Mighty Hebrew, a couple of his close comrades, and we're probably about 75, 85% sure we've pinpointed that voice. So it is what it is. You know, you forced his hand. You know, you forced the hand of the mighty Hebrew, who is out on the front line fighting for your nationality, fighting for your freedom, and telling the world that y'all are the chosen ones, the children of Israel. And he's out there educating people on the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And whether you're Torah-based, Torah-centered, or Old Testament Hebrew, or you are New Testament or Messianic Hebrew Israelite, I think you understand the message that was brought forth tonight. And you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna send the link out. We're gonna get ready to close up. We're gonna show you this last documentation where you see the outcome of this court, the final decision and verdict from the courts itself. And I'll just briefly touch on, and I'll pull up another document real quick while the mighty Hebrew sends me the last one. What you also don't know is, even if he would have been found guilty or pleaded guilty, the paperwork states that even if he was found guilty, the maximum allowable sentence for that misdemeanor is 2 years. And you know, it's unfortunate that this man was gone for 5. So that's unfortunate. But bingo. All right, let me show this to the audience. I thank everybody for tuning in. You know, this brother's trying to get his message out there. I'm your good, humble brother, BYK 1011. And it is what it is, man. Shouts out to Mikael Ben Israel from the Walls of Jericho. Shouts out to Michael Edwards. Shout out to LaRon, aka G Consciousness. Shout out to the Hebrew War Machine, man. AOC, the LOI. All them, man. UPK. Keep doing the work. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And if there's nothing, if you still got some concern and you're not happy with what we brought out, approach us like men, man. Leave a comment on the video. Hit the brother up on Facebook. Do something, man. You know, approach him righteously. All right, there it is. Now this states right here that the misdemeanor in the second degree has a maximum sentence which can be imposed upon a defendant of not more than 2 years. Okay. Now, I think we did a more than fair, thorough job of explaining the events that played out. And you've heard him speak on this before. The Mighty Hebrew's Back video he dropped with Sonetta. You know, he spoke on this, and it's a shame that, you know, whoever decided to call in and falsely accuse this man live on radio and force this man's hand. I think this is a forced reaction. Yeah, that's right. The Mighty Hebrew's back in more ways than one.
I'm back. I sent the documents.
All right, take over. Hold it down for the family. I just showed them the last document. I just showed them the last. Yeah, I just showed them the last document that states that misdemeanor, right, the misdemeanor had no more than 2 years.
Absolutely. I show at the end that it was received January 4th, 2013 at the Supreme Court Eastern District, that actually the judgment of sentence was affirmed in part and reversed in part. You know, They dropped it. They wanted to drop it to they dropped it to a so-called misdemeanor. You understand what I'm saying? Dropped it to a because they knew they couldn't do nothing. And from that, they released me. The time that they gave me, they reduced all the time and they let me out. And now I'm here with y'all. That happened in June 4th, January 4th, 2013, home in 2014, because even though, you know, that was received. It was received. You understand what I'm saying? But I still had to wait through the whole process and different things like that to get out. And now I'm out. I was victorious, man. I fought on my own through Yahweh. Now, what y'all need to do is be coming to me and say, oh, you know, to that mighty Hebrew, so that won't never happen to me and my family. See, y'all fought that y'all go ahead. I'm involved in all types of stuff, man. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all thought, oh, this boy, he shaved his beard, rape is all that. That's what y'all thought. Then y'all thought I wasn't going to come out and say nothing about the situation, that you was going to have me in some type of Nick Tuck situation. Come on, man. I'm a grown man. I ain't no kid. Here we go right here. Here we go. Here go the documents right here, homie.
All right, Mighty Hebrew, explain this one. We see the dates, we see your name. Explain this one, and then I'll show the reversal and the final outcome of this. Go ahead, good brother.
Right there is showing that the final outcome right there. The reversal right there. It's letting you know that the Supreme Court, you know what I'm saying? It's letting the Superior Court know, you know what I mean? Because of December 5th, 2012, they letting them know that the judgment of sentence is affirmed in part and reversed in part. And that's me, man. There it is right there. There's your documents, man. There it is. If I wouldn't have never, got this far, I wouldn't have came out of jail, family, until 2030. All right? So you don't even know what you talking about and what you dealing with. They was trying to bury me. If you look at the document, it give you the original judge from the lower court, Judge Roger Gordon. That's the same judge that the ambassador Mikael Ward Yisrael wrote to the Superior Court, to the Supreme Court, man. I won, man. I won. And I'm home. Instead of y'all having open arms and making sure the mighty Hebrew is all right, because you know that I'm on the front line for our people, you trying to scrutinize me. You understand what I'm saying? There it is right there. That's the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. The only black parts is the numbers. That's it. But you can see when it all started in 2009. You see it. You see the affirming of the order of the Honorable Roger F. Gordon in the Court of Common Pleas. You see it's put it in 2012 in the Superior Court. There it is right there.
Right. And just to reiterate for the family, we're talking about you had declared your sovereignty, and in 2009 something jumped off, and when they ran your name, because they did not know that you were sovereign, you had actually violated the terms of your probation or parole, whatever it is, because you did not give us new address and register with them. That is the only thing. And that's why you were not released. We explained the original 94 situation. We explained December of 2009. We explained the petition of release and why it was denied. We explained the appeal, the summary of the appeal, the main argument, the summary. I mean, we showed it. Man, what more do they want from you, man? That's right. What more do they want from the tribal minister himself, man? Go ahead and hold it down.
Yeah, like that though, man. First and foremost, honor to Yahweh, the Holy One of Yasha Allah, for giving me this blessed opportunity. Man, I'm free, man. I'm free. Let me explain something to you. How this actually, put a dent in my foundation for getting locked up in 2009. You understand what I'm saying? For something that never even pertained to me. All right. First of all, my children's mother, my princess, Zakaria, Benef Yasha Allah, also known as Yerashiyat. You know what I'm saying? She already had my 3.5-year-old son, Zakwa Allah. Then she had my 2-year-old daughter, Zadina. Okay? And then she had my going on 1-year-old son, Adonawa Zadak, and she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? We lost our house and everything. You understand what I'm saying? Behind all this. But guess what? The love never stopped. Now, while I was locked up, my youngest son, Hashukwam Kanawa, was born. All this, I was rumbling, not for me only. I was rumbling for us. Yisrael. All my documents show that I rumbled by my. I went up against the Superior Court and the Supreme Court. I sent my documentation to United Nations, to London, England, to the Crown, and to the Papacy. What people do you know that do that, or person that do that? Show me one of your so-called leaders that do that, and then we talk. You understand what I'm saying? Don't sit up here and bash the mighty Hebrew, and you don't even know the shoes that I walk. You can't even fit my shoes, because if you would have been where I was back, they would have crushed y'all up there. You understand what I'm saying? You will never hear nothing about me upstate being a coward. You understand what I'm saying? I walked as a man, and anybody that came at me that was against the king of this universe, Yahweh, they got crushed. Whether it was verbally, psychologically, spiritually, or even at times physically. Because I'm about this truth, man. And I'm not letting nothing stop unification. Like I said, when I say I die for this unification, I mean what I say, man. A lot of y'all chumps afraid to die. This is why we in the situation that we in as a people, man. Because we afraid to die for what is right. But you die everything for what is wrong. I keep using social media as a catalyst to put out negativity instead of using it to bring forth unity to our people, man. Don't try to dehumanize me. If you got anything, whoever did that, whoever got a problem with me, they can get my phone number by this brother here, and you can meet up with me and deal with me face to face. You ain't got to put nothing out there on YouTube. What's the point of putting something out there on YouTube? What you gonna say? Let me say it for you so you don't have to say it. Oh, we got to expose these false prophets and who y'all dealing with. Y'all don't know who y'all dealing with. That's what you gonna say? That's what. Come on, man. You can do better than that. Do you know who you dealing with when you dealing with me? You don't even know me. You understand what I'm saying? Just like I know you, but what I do know is a characteristic, because in Psalms chapter 1, it says, you know a tree by its fruit. And so far, you show the mark of a coward. Because even though you may mention about supposedly I shave my beard, you going to put some old Megan's Law picture up there talking about rape and all this crap, but not saying nothing about it. And like, yeah, Israelites don't move like that. Israelites move as men and women of righteousness. They don't do things like that's how I know that we dealing with a lot of buffoons, man. A lot of y'all cats is buffoons. And all this debate, man, I'll crush you. You understand what I'm saying? I'll crush you dead on any debate scene. You know what I mean? I'll crush your brain in. And I'm saying I'm trying to keep away from that. But any type of topic, any type physically, mentally, psychologically, I'll crush you. So don't ever in your life try to disrespect me, man, and don't know what's going on. The information is here. You want my phone number? I give you my phone number. You understand what I'm saying? You want to see me? Let me know. And you can be dealt with. But don't disrespect me. I'm not playing these games. I'm not going back and forth with no, I mean, I'm serious, man. I'm talking about warfare. I'm not going back and forth with this video and that video. If you feel as though I offended you based on this fake ass crime you trying to oppose on me, we can go wherever you want to take it. And that's it. I'm not talking about this after tonight. It's over. You got a problem with me? Get with people that you know that know me, and we can set up the situation, and I deal with you.
Right,
But don't
and
sit up here.
we got a message for all the haters and the trolls. That look, that doesn't mean you leave a comment claiming to be this individual, and you think we just gonna reach out to you. No, okay. I need the individual who made that video, whose voice we know, to get a hold at them. You know, get at us. If you need to speak with this gentleman in person, okay, we're not gonna put his address, his cell phone, his home phone number. Nah, we're not doing that. And real quick, Mighty Hebrew, while you get your thoughts together, man. We couple of the brothers hit me up. They wanted to show their love, but I got something right here from the American Association of Dermatology, okay? And that states that alopecia means hair loss pertaining to facial hair, a medical condition where the hair falls out in round patches on the face and the head. The hair can fall out on the scalp and elsewhere on the body, such as eyebrows, beard, mustache, sideburns, okay? And basically that sums it up, okay? You can lose it in patches or you can lose it completely off, okay? And the hair does not grow back, and if it does grow back, it's very thin and sometimes unnoticeable. So I just wanted to bring that out. But go ahead and talk to him, and you know, if there's anything else you want to bring out, you know, we'll get ready to wind this down. A couple of the brothers, while we were live, left some comments, and what we're not going to do, we're not going to direct y'all to this video, okay? Don't worry about what video we're referencing to. All you need to know is that there's been some propaganda, some smear campaigns, and some slander and false allegations. All right? I don't like it. The timing is suspect. And why would you try and disrespect and put down and denigrate your dear brother? Aren't you your brother's keeper? Isn't this man fighting the same battle you are, man? It just don't make no damn sense to me. Go ahead, Mighty Hebrew.
First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to Yahuwah, the Holy One of Israel, for giving me this blessed opportunity to be here. So now everybody know the situation. Everybody know that I got locked up in '94. Everybody know that I was innocent. Everybody know that I got set up. I came home 2005. I was moving as the Minister of Information of the Kingdom of Yah in Philadelphia. You know, everybody knows my situation. You know what I'm saying? But what they didn't know is that I was moving as a sovereign. They didn't know, so on the system, they ain't know that the Mighty Hebrew bang on that level. Now, even that name, the Mighty Hebrew, I didn't name myself that. Sarnetta gave me that name. You understand what I'm saying? Because he seen when, I believe it was one of the senators' representatives from the state of New York, and Sarnetta had it up there on Black News 102 when it used to basically be Sarnetta TV, and how I destroyed, you understand what I'm saying, this you're a Gentile coming in talking about gun control out in Harlem. But like I said though, if you really want to make, you know, some accomplishments and some changes on the real, on the international level, you know what I mean, come amongst the Mighty Hebrew, man. I'll show you how to do this, man. I'll show you how to unify and be the great army. Talking about we could just sit up here, man, and wait on the good Lord to come and save us, man. It ain't working like that. The Lord ain't saving nobody who ain't trying to save himself. And that's just the bottom line, man. If you want to get dirty and put the footwork in, let's do it. Now, I mean, I'm from North Philly, PHILLY. I'm from Philly, man. Philly ain't never bring forth no chumps. That's why you got brothers like Captain Tahar Ward that's so rough, because North Philly, that's what they breed. They breed warriors and rebels, man. I ain't no pussy, man. So again, man, you got something to say about me, man, come straight forward, man. Don't be a coward, man. Be a real man. You say, yo, man, you's a fucking rapist, man. Won't you come and show and prove that I'm a rapist and deal with it on the issue like that, man to man? You want to be all out in the open and lie and be deceitful. You understand
And
what I'm saying?
where,
Without making a comment.
right, and where's his 2 to 3 witnesses to confirm that for him, like the Torah
Where's your
states?
witnesses at? Where's the witness at on this situation? There is none because it was a lie. I got witnesses that was actually there the day that I got locked up, right at hand. I got witnesses, brother, sister, child, whoever you are. I got witnesses right now that I can call right now, put on this line right the fuck now, that was there the night that this said incident supposed to happen in 1994, and I wasn't even in the premises. I can show you emphatically that I was set up. I ain't hiding. I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, my witness, where your witnesses at? So all these lies and deception that you trying to play because you mad that I'm talking about unity and talking about me cutting my beard and all this. I don't have a beard, Jack. I have alopecia. Look at my eyebrows. You don't see no eyebrows. You don't see no eyelash. And even them nut pictures that you, this is how deceptive dude is. I'm going to show you how I know this is all a diabolical plot to destroy unification. This same dude going to do a sound check talking about Moray Shar, David Israel. Now, I'm going to show you how the creator is with me. He took the Moray part from Moray Aviel bin Levi. Because in that same piece, he talking about Zion Lex. Talking about he a freak and a faggot and all that. He don't even know Zion Lex, man. He fuck around to get hurt. Now watch. He took the Moray part from Zion Lex. Yeah, that's my brother, Zion Lex. You don't like it, fuck you. Now I'm telling you. Now, then when you see, you know, the Shar part, he took that from out of my name. And then he's going to say David Israel. But do you understand the symbolicness to that? Because David represents the southern kingdom of Israel. Israel represents the northern kingdom of Israel. So this same person that's putting this fake name out there is trying to divide the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. But guess what? It ain't happening, Captain. You know what I mean? You so-called Puerto Ricans, rise up. You Israel. You so-called Dominicans. You know what I mean? You so North American, South American, Central American, Indian. You so-called Negroes. You so-called Australians. I mean, Israelites scattered all over four corners of earth. The Igbo, the Mengtinkanti, the Yoruba. You understand what I'm saying? Coming. There ain't no stopping. We everywhere. Lebanon. We in Jordan. You mad. We in Syria. We in Africa. We in United Kingdom. You mad because you can't stop this growing of our nation. So you trying to slander and you trying to stop the process, but it ain't happening. We hip to your game. We hip to your evil. We hip to your wickedness. You sick motherfucker. I'm in your face and I'm telling you what it is. If you see me on the street, we can do whatever. And I'm not making no more videos and I'm not going back and forth with you because I'm a grown man. I'm not no kid. Look at my documentation. When I was in a hole for 14, 15 months at a time, guards pissing in our food. You know what I mean? Pissing in our juice, spitting in our food, chewing tobacco, spitting in our food. Because we about Israel having rights up in them state penitentiaries because they wouldn't recognize the Israelite culture in the prisons. You think I'm lying? Go ask brothers. Man, I got brothers right now. My brother Yirmiyahu that be on Facebook. That's one of my students. My student Moshiach Hanasik bin Yisrael. I got a bunch of students, brother. A bunch of brothers. You understand what I'm saying? That'll tell you how I move out upstate. I wasn't no sucker upstate. I was the teacher that started the Israelite movement up there in the Pennsylvania State prison system. The biggest Israelite community is in SCI Code Township. We was 200 strong. 200 strong. I was the only one in there and left with 200 strong. That's why when you go to Code Township, you don't see nothing but a bunch of Israelites up there. Thanks to the mighty Hebrew through the power of Yah. So again, you still don't know who you're dealing with. I tell you, you get hurt dealing with me. So enough of all that. You know what I'm about. The documentation is there. I'm a sovereign. I'm a freedom fighter for my people. And that's it. I'm tired of the games. I'm tired of the separation. I'm tired of the women bashing. I'm tired of the male bashing. I'm tired of feminism. I'm tired of the bull crap. You understand what I'm saying? Only thing I want to see is our people unify under one sovereign banner and reign supreme on this planet Earth. Ain't that what you want? Isn't that what you fighting for? Isn't that what you on the street corners for? Isn't that what you in your Knesset for and your camps for? Huh? Ain't you doing what I'm doing? Or are you sitting back thinking for the next plot to destroy? You thinking about the next video you want to put up on me. That what you think? That's what you thinking right now? But guess what? If you do, I ain't even responding to that crap. I'm going to let my work show and prove who you are. I'm going to show you the way. I'm going to show you how to walk as an Israelite. I'm going to give you game. I'm going to put you under my wing and show you how to walk as an Israelite. Because a lot of y'all need to be tutelaged. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all need to break from them social niceties that has capitated your brain. You ain't brainwashed, you brain dirty. That's why you thought you could come up against the mighty Hebrew, but you can't. You know what I mean? The Creator put curses on you coming up against the Most High's people, trying to stop the vision. The Most High going to destroy you for that. Whoever it is, whoever is lying. And in my strong opinion, I believe it's somebody posing as a Messianic Hebrew Israelite. I don't even think it's a Hebrew Israelite doing it. But guess what? We're going to really find out who doing what. And I'm telling you, if you disrespect me and my family again, I'm going to let Yah handle you. And you're going to be handled. Bottom line, that's it. Shalom.
No doubt, mighty Hebrew. Man, like I said, a bunch of the brothers, you know, and we're going to have to use the term, and I don't like to, but Old Testament and New Testament, Messianic, non-Messianic, hit us up during the video in my inbox on Google+. Tell the mighty Hebrew we love them. Tell the mighty Hebrew we support them. Tell the mighty Hebrew keep banging on them, man. Keep doing what he does, man. Community loves you. Somebody's feelings are hurt, man. You know what I say? I say this, man. Bow down, man. Kneel down when you in the presence of greatness, man. Try and walk and teach the people and have the kind of knowledge and the level of scholarship that this man has, man. We're not doing this internet, keyboard banging and dropping these weak ass videos on each other, man. Excuse my Hebrew. Mighty Hebrew, it's up to you, good brother. Would you like to take us out and close in prayer, or I can take us out with a little instrumental, and me and you and a few of the brothers can have a brief conversation when the hangout's over.
Okay, you can take us out with an instrumental, but I want to leave with this. To the whole Hebrew Israelite family, four corners of the earth. Whether if you learning on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you learning by just on Google, you know what I mean? You don't have nobody to teach you. Yo, the mighty Hebrew is here, man. Anything you need, you know, about this coaching, about coming from out of this captivity that we in. I'm here for you. We need to be here for each other, man. We got to stop this. We got to stop letting, you know, this system keep us separated. I love all y'all. I don't have no problem with nobody. But I'll be damned if I let anybody try to stop what we trying to do right now. Because we really trying to be free. You know, I ain't got, you know, yo, Gorilla Hebrew, man, keep banging up there, up in Cali, man. We know we need you out there, man, to let the brothers and sisters know who they are. You know, Zion Lex, man, keep banging, man. Divine Prospect, General Maury Shia, all y'all, Maury Yoel, It's Kaz, my other spiritual Abba, Atoriax, out in Kenya. You understand what I'm saying? Rest is the Adonai Rabbeinu Ben Ami Ben Yisrael Hamoshiach. You understand what I'm saying? All those that came before us, man. Much love, Rabbi Bivens. Much love, the Rabbi Matthews and Rabbi Arnold Josiah Ford. You know, Rabbi Shalomo Levi. You know, all those that came from out of Beit Queen. Those that came from Hashava. Peace to Kohen Mikael Ben Levi. Peace to my mother. You know what I'm saying? Ima Banaf Yasha'ala. Peace to Ima Naami Bet Levi. You understand what I'm saying? Peace to my spiritual Abbas, Nashims, Imamaya, Ima Naami. You understand what I'm saying? Peace out to Temple Bethel and all heads of God. Yah, the kingdom of Yahweh coming to the house of Yahudah to the Abraham, Ben Yisrael, United Nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Peace to Mikael, Ben Yisrael, my homie Antoine. You know what I mean? All those niggas are striving for righteousness' sake, man. I love you. You understand what I'm saying? Keep your heads up. You know what I mean? Peace to my Moorish brothers, because they Israelites too. To my homie Blue Pill and Red Pill, I ain't got nothing but love for y'all, man. You know what I mean? And all those that's striving, that's banging, you know what I mean, on wax, man, on these cowards, man. Much love, man. But like I said, I love all y'all, man. I ain't got no beef with nobody. The only beef I got is those that constantly lie on us, man. You know what I mean? And trying to keep division going on, man. We don't need no more division. We only need truth, justice, and equality. And that's to separate ourselves from this wicked, diabolical, satanic group of people that we around. We know that they psychopaths. You listening to a psychopath, man. Come on, are you serious? You listening to a psychopath? A psychopath tell you something, you listen to them? You believe them? You take their word because it's written here, so it gotta be true. That's the problem with our people. We don't do comparative study or no research. We don't even go and inquire with the people what is true and what is not. That's why y'all thought I cut my beard. Because only thing you had to do is just make one phone. That's all you had to do. You would have found out like, damn, the mighty Hebrews don't even cut his beard, man. You know what I'm saying? And probably the person that did it probably know I don't even cut my beard. Go back on all them videos you see me on YouTube. You can clearly tell that I don't put the razor to the face. You can clearly tell. Look at my face now. You can tell that I don't put the razor to my face. That is unrighteousness in the sight of the Most High. We don't do that in Israel. You know what I'm saying? We don't cut our beards, man. Now, the only time you see a condition is like this or something. But come on, man. Look at my head, man. Come on. I rock the mitri. I rock the turban. I rock the kippah. You see me, I rock the garments every single day. You can see me in shea butter, conscious DVDs, conscious books, natural soaps. I don't even work for the so-called white man. A lot of y'all claim y'all banging on the white man, but in turn y'all work for him. I don't even work for him. I work for me.
Right.
Mine.
Self-employed.
See, again, you don't know me. Look at all the books, man. Look. I'm an animal. This ain't nothing right here. This ain't nothing. I'm an animal. I'll murder you, man.
Look at that library.
Scholarship-wise, physically, I crush you. But enough is enough. Hallelujah. Shalom.
No doubt. With that being said, man, why don't y'all consider, coming up and studying underneath somebody like this man and raising up your scholarship and quit trying to, try and act like you one up somebody or trying to, embarrass somebody or something like that. But it is what it is, man. So I'm gonna take us out in closing, and then the brotherhood's gonna have a little conversation offline, man. All praises to the Most High, man.